Hello and welcome to Shrew Review. This is a little video series that I've been wanting to do for a while that just kind of goes through a lot of parkour related media. Because you see, parkour and media go very much hand in hand. Parkour was coming up right around the same time YouTube was starting to have its boom, and a lot of internet video sharing was becoming more normal in our day-to-day lives, which really helped parkour reach a global audience. At the same time, movies and video games were also discovering parkour and implementing a lot of those movements into their art. So today I wanted to go back to one of the original and possibly most influential pieces of parkour media out there. One whose influence can be seen in everything from big budget Bond films to cartoons on Fox.
Hey guys, so glad you suggested a nice easy jog. Is there a track up here or something?
What, you never been free running? Oh, you're gonna love it. Let's go!
Then there's this.
Parkour!
Yeah, we don't talk about this. So without further ado, let's get into Pierre Morel's 2004 French classic action film, District B 13. District B-13 was a film which sought to distinguish French action cinema from both Hollywood and Hong Kong, and that was through the use of parkour. Now, parkour was this fairly new discipline of movement-based training that was popping up in France in the early to mid-90s. A discipline that's distinct from calisthenics, gymnastics, and martial arts. Now let's dive a bit into the origins of parkour and its founder and star of this film, David Bell. David Bell was born to a military family. His father, Raymond Bell, grew up in a military orphanage and at the age of 7, took it upon himself to dedicate his life to training harder and longer than anyone else. He would use the military obstacle course in secret, testing his endurance, strength, and flexibility. He developed a rigidly disciplined mentality when it came to training. Eventually, he'd become a famed and distinguished member of the French Fire Brigade. This dedication to training was passed on to his son, David. But, growing up in the projects of southern France, David didn't have the structure of a military environment. So, he evolved this style of training to adapt to his environment. Him and a group of childhood friends began training, running, jumping, and climbing everywhere. They formed their own little fitness fight club, sneaking out at the middle of the night to climb on buildings and challenging each other to push their limits. Eventually, the group formed, calling themselves Yamakaze, and began posting videos to YouTube. And once French film director Pierre Morel saw these videos, he was blown away by parkour and saw a cinematic potential to this new style of movement. He reached out to David Bell and they started coming up with ideas for a film that could demonstrate parkour to the world. Teaming up with stuntman / martial artist Cyril Raffaelli, who helped choreograph a lot of the film's unique action. Cyril Raffaelli also just has some of the coolest show reels from back in the day of just incredible stunts and acrobatics. Now this movie was a statement. French action cinema is going to show you something you've never seen before. And they did not disappoint. The film's introductory chase sequence is one of the best chases to ever be put on film, with cinematography showing off the beautiful French brutalism architecture built perfectly to show off parkour. While we have seen parkour movements in films before, it was never as refined as this, where Jackie Chan would climb a wall in this very improvisational method, as if he was getting himself over the obstacle just through sheer ability. David Bell's training was that of a man who specifically trained this style of movement. Refined, precise, and powerful. The film was a decent success and went on to become a cult classic among action movie fans. This movie certainly had a big influence on my training. I remember as a little kid I would go to the corner store and I'd rent this movie at least once a week and just go out and try and copy these movements that before this I'd only really seen in video games like Prince of Persia or something. Bringing that escapism into the real world and realizing oh, that human being can do these moves, I could learn to do these things. And you still see it a lot in my style of training. It's very old school. It's a style of training that, even though parkour has moved on since this point, Subconsciously, this is still what I think of when I think
Parkour!
and it's still how I want my
Parkour!
to look, if that makes sense. I'm not going to go into the plot of the movie because it's just kind of like whatever. There's a nuke, there's a damsel in distress. It's like two action heroes who are polar opposites of each other have to work together. Like, just, it's all stuff you've seen before. But the thing you hadn't seen before is the action and the way it's filmed. And yeah, as an avenue to show off how cool parkour can look in your action cinema, I think they hit it out of the park in this one. The movie eventually spawned a sequel, which, in my opinion, pushed the parkour a little bit too much to the point of looking a little fake and cheesy, with sequences that border on cartoonish. But that original movie still holds up to this day. Its ability to showcase parkour definitely helped it stand out from other action movies at the time. And like I was saying before, it just influenced everything that came after it. Everything from a Marvel film to Star Wars will have some sort of parkour in it. But this movie was the first to really show parkour and what parkour can do. I don't really do a rating system in this, but if I did, I'd give this 10 guys falling off of a rooftop to their death out of 10. How about that? Anyway, I'm gonna go train now. Bye!
Ah!